Hello and welcome to the Not the Old Firm YouTube channel. My name is Ben Banks. Today's video recapping a pretty eventful afternoon for the Scotland national team. We've had a squad announcement, we've had the head coach sign a new deal until 2024, and there's been a complete reshuffle of the backroom staff as well. So plenty to get into in a sort of 10-minute or so video. We'll try and pack it in. We'll have a couple of follow-up videos to this later in the week. So if you want to see them, do remember to subscribe to our channel. It would be much appreciated. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers. That is our big goal over the next couple of months or so. Want to hit it as soon as possible so you can help us if you haven't already done so by subscribing. Like this video as well. Tell a friend. It does really make a bit of a difference. We've got no time to waste on rambling, so we'll get straight into it. We'll start with what I think is probably the most newsworthy. In terms of, there is a lot to get through. We'll start with Steve Clarke's announcement that he has signed a new deal to remain as head coach of the Scotland national team until 2024. He took over after a successful spell at Kilmarnock. He's coached at the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool. He's a legend at Chelsea and guided Scotland back to its first major tournament since 1990 at Euro 2020 this summer, where the nation exited at the group stage. Pretty disappointing in terms of performances on the park for Scotland at the major tournament, I think was the general consensus. But overall, well, you don't want to reflect on it too much. It was nice to be back at the party, so to speak. But he has signed a new deal. There was talks of this new deal perhaps just before the Euros. There was talks that Steve Clarke was in the running for the Celtic job when that was still vacant before Ange Postecoglou took over. But now he has committed his future to Scotland, and that will see him remain as the head coach through the World Cup 2022 qualifying campaign, which begins again next month with fixtures away to Euro 2020 semi-finals Denmark, at home to Moldova and Austria, all that coming in a 6-day period starting from September 1st. So he'll lead us through that campaign, and then he'll also take charge of the campaign to hopefully get Scotland back to the Euros again in 2024. So it's a decent sized contract in terms of international. I'm still a bit surprised myself by the contract. So I think Steve Clarke, you can't say he's done a bad job, I don't think yet. He has got Scotland to the major finals, and that will get him a lot of credit in the bank, especially with those at the Scottish Football Association. But there were murmurs before the Euros started, and then more so after. Did the Euros paper over some of the cracks, if I could actually get a word out, that were appearing in the Scotland national team for the UEFA Nations League to hopefully get us into the 2022 World Cup. Sort of fell away from that. We won the playoff match to get us to Euro 2020 against Serbia. In the final two matches of that campaign, the Nations League campaign for the 2022 World Cup, we're thrown away, lost both of them, and now we need to go through a really tough group. In that tough group with Austria, Denmark, Israel, who we've played about 10 million times in the last 2 years alone, we have picked up 5 points from 3 games. Heading into our 2 toughest games, Moldova should be a pretty comfortable win at Hampden, but Denmark away and Austria away will be really, really difficult challenges, especially the Denmark game where they finished 4th, pretty much 3rd, 4th. We can decide later, or at Euro 2020. So that's a really difficult assignment. And if you're going into potentially losing the Austria and Austria as well, I think they got to the last 16 at the Euros as well. So if you're heading into if you're heading into the sort of 6-game mark with Austria and you're ending that game with 8 points from 6 games, that's not really going to get you to a major tournament anytime soon. So it is going to be really difficult. It would be such a shame that heading into sort of the final stages, if you will, of qualification for the World Cup 2022, we're nowhere, never mind at least pushing it to the final day. I think it's a big ask for Scotland to get qualified for the World Cup, if I'm being honest, with the fixtures that lie ahead this month alone. So, but he has got us to the Euros, and that is going to be the line for Steve Clarke supporters. I think that there's a good squad there. It's a really talented squad, and it's perhaps not being utilised the best way. I can't bring myself to completely criticise him. He did get us to that major tournament stuff. The buzz around the country was amazing for those couple of weeks. But outside that, the results haven't exactly been particularly eye-catching. And I don't think Scotland will ever win games 3 or 4-0, obviously with the exception of playing teams like San Marino and things like that. With teams Scotland are competitive against, I can't see there being 3-4-0 victory, but at the same time, I can't see Scotland ever losing by that margin as well, unless, as I said, they come up against one of the real superpowers of European football or continental football if we do get that far into the World Cup. So, yeah, I'm a bit mixed. I don't quite know. I think as is football is fickle. If we lose to Denmark, then it'll be Steve Clarke out and things like that. But I think at the moment, he probably deserves a new contract, but could it have waited? Did it need to be handed to him just now? It's not like he's probably going to be going anywhere. Yeah, I don't know whether he exactly needed it now, but I suppose it's security for him, it's security for the players that they know who's going to be at the helm for the next few years or so. Right, now that's covered. We'll cover the coaching staff briefly before moving on to the squad. Stevie Wood and Stephen Reid have both left Celtic goalkeeper coach and Nottingham Forest coach respectively. I think family and club commitments basically mean they need to step away from it. There has been a fair bit of reshuffling in the backroom staff when John Carver joined before the Euros. Alex Dyer was initially in after his time at Kilmarnock with Steve Clarke. In comes Austin McPhee. He is the Aston Villa set-piece coach, perhaps more notably for Scottish football fans. He was Hearts assistant manager under Craig Levein and then caretaker manager, and was also coaching with FC Midtjylland in Denmark before moving to Aston Villa earlier this summer. And Chris Woods as well comes in, former England goalkeeper, to coach the goalkeepers, which segues us on to nicely this squad. And there has been a fair bit of reshuffling in that as well. Well, some reshuffling, but mainly the goalkeeper department at the club has been at the club. In the country's team has been reshuffled. The reason I mention club because it is the domestic clubs in Scotland that have took over the goalkeeper department, really. In the Scotland national team, we've had Craig Gordon named, John McLaughlin, David Marshall drop out from the Euros. In comes Ander Clarke of St Johnstone and Liam Kelly at Mullow. Both really deserved call-ups, in my opinion. David Marshall's been relegated to third choice at Derby County. Would have still expected him to be in the squad given that he was the number one at Euro 2020, but football is a ruthless business and he's been completely bombed out the squad. I didn't expect Steve Clarke to do that. He does have his favourites that he does pick, perhaps less so than, say, Gordon Strachan and Alex McLeish. You sort of knew who was getting picked. It is a bit less predictable. But I didn't expect John McLaughlin, who also hasn't played as much as second choice at Rangers. Didn't expect perhaps John McLaughlin, one of them would go. I didn't expect to see both Xander Clarke and Liam Kelly involved. So fair play to them. And it's more than deserved as well. Xander Clarke, double cup winner with St Johnstone last season. Been really great for them over the last couple of years. And Liam Kelly has been immense since joining Mullow, first on loan in January, and then rejoining on a permanent basis this summer. And he's captained the Fir Park Club on a couple of occasions this month in absence of Stephen O'Donnell, who's also been named in this squad again. He has been out with illness. The one injury concern from this is Scott McTominay. I think that's a pretty big blow to lose him. The Manchester United midfielder who's played centre-back as well is missing this one through injury, picked up before the Southampton game in the Premier League at the time of recording this on the Saturday, so I think the 21st. It's picked up before that, and because of that he misses out, and I think that's a big blow because it's a versatile option between centre-back and central midfield. But in comes Lewis Ferguson for his first cap as well, potentially. He obviously was a star at under-21s level, worked his way up from under-19s level, and now he's got his chance at senior level. And it's good to see that sort of core of under-21s under Scott Gemmell that you had, the midfield of Billy Elmo, David Turnbull, Lewis Ferguson, all now senior internationals, or at least in this squad anyway. Lewis Ferguson could have the chance to become one. And also in midfield, Kenny McLean is back from his injury. We kept him at Euro 2020. He replaces John Fleck. And I think that is about us for the squad, just about. I think it's a really strong squad. I don't think there's many complaints that can be made. You could have maybe seen that Stephen Welsh in there, who's performed quite well for Celtic. I'll try not to mention Celtic Rangers too much in this channel, but I think he could have potentially been with a shout. Anthony Ralston was spoken about, but perhaps his is just a purple patch of form rather than actually warranted call up to the national team. And yeah, I think it's a very decent looking squad, but we have said that for the last year now, and perhaps results haven't been great. Been a lot of draws, been a lot of narrow defeats in there as well. But I think it's a really talented group, and if they manage to get playing the way they can at club level, Lyndon Dykes has started really well for QPR. Andy Robertson signed a new long-term deal with Liverpool. Kieran Tierney looks set to be one of the better players at Arsenal this season, albeit some might argue that's not exactly difficult. Grant Hanley's a captain at Norwich. Liam Cooper's a captain at Leeds United. There's plenty in Celtic, Callum McGregor as well. There's a lot to like about this team. I just think perhaps they've left it too late for World Cup 2022 qualifying. That's going to be Steve Clarke's job to hopefully prove me wrong, and I hope he does. So, hope you have enjoyed this video. Apologies as there's no written scripts or anything. Not that you probably think that anyway with this channel, but no notes of that, simply freewheeling it, because this is literally recorded half an hour or so after all these announcements came out at the one time. So apologies if it is a bit messy and stuff, but it should be informative if nothing else. So we hope you have enjoyed it. Do remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'll have a European preview for Aberdeen and St Johnstone's games coming up on Thursday in Europa Conference League second leg playoffs, and we'll hear from Michael O'Halloran, hopefully Callum Davidson, and Stephen Glass as well on that, so not to be missed. And then later in the week we'll have follow-ups to the Scotland squad announcement with a couple of different people, hopefully, and as well as that the usual Premiership review or preview we sort of do as well. So yeah, it's a busy week as we move towards the internationals. This is the final week of the domestic campaign before the first international break season. I can't believe we're here already. And as well as that, we've got the end of the transfer window one day before Scotland-Denmark. That's going to be a fun 40 hours, I'm pretty sure. So if you don't want to miss any of that, subscribe to our channel. It would be much appreciated. And yeah, that's all I've got time for. And until the next time I see you, take it easy.